Elon Musk's company Neuralink is building brain implants to help paralyzed people walk again. Scientists have figured out that even when someone is paralyzed, their brain still tries to send signals to their limbs to move. It's like the brain is shouting, "Walk!" but the message gets stuck because the spinal cord is broken. Neuralink's plan is to steal the messages from the brain and deliver them past the broken part so the legs can hear them again. Isn't this remarkable? You see, your body is like a big team, and your brain is the coach. It sends signals like little notes through your spinal cord to your arms, legs, and other parts, telling them what to do. It says stuff like, "Hey legs, walk to the playground," or "Arms, pick up that money." Normally, these notes travel super fast down a highway called the spinal cord, which is like a long wire in your back. But sometimes something bad happens, like a car accident or a disease, and the spinal cord gets hurt. It's like someone cut the highway in half. Now the brain's notes can't get through to the legs or arms below the broken spot. If the break is high up near your neck, you might not be able to move your arms or legs at all. That's called quadriplegia. If it's lower down, maybe just your legs won't work. That's paraplegia. Either way, the person can't walk or move those parts because the brain's messages are stuck. Elon Musk's plan with Neuralink is to build a new way for those messages to get through, even if the spinal cord highway is broken. It's like making a secret tunnel or a wireless phone line so the brain can still talk to the body.
I think we have a chance, I emphasize a chance, of being able to allow someone who cannot walk or use their arms to be able to walk again. It's a super big deal, and I don't want to raise hopes unreasonably, but I'm increasingly convinced that this can be done.
The Neuralink chip is a tiny gadget about the size of a quarter that gets surgically put inside your head. It's not just one chip, it's a team of parts working together. Here's how the device looks. The threads are these super thin wires, way smaller than a hair, that go into your brain. They're like little microphones that listen to the messages or electrical signals from your neurons. Then there's the chip package. This is the main part that replaces your skull. There are actually 4 chips inside, and they collect information from the threads inserted into the brain tissue. Then that information gets sent wirelessly with Bluetooth, kind of like how your phone sends text without a cord. Then there's the surgery robot. A special robot puts the chip and threads into your head. To make sure it avoids hitting any blood vessels, the robot uses a very precise camera. Then it finds all the places it should put the threads in. It's really careful because your brain is delicate like a squishy jelly.
I've learned that the brain is really squishy. Like way squishier than you think. It's not like, cauliflower or broccoli or something like that. It's more like a water balloon, and then it's moving in your skull like a lot. So you got a squishy water balloon in a coconut is maybe a good way to think of it.
The robot makes a small hole in your skull, slides the threads into the brain tissue, and then puts the chip package, then stitches it up so you heal fast. You can almost think of it like planting a tiny radio in your brain that can hear what you're thinking about moving and then send that message out. But this is actually much more advanced than just a radio. It can also sense your heartbeat just like a smartwatch or Fitbit. It's super useful for just general health monitoring. I'm inspired and fascinated by the work the Neuralink team is doing, but what's even more fascinating is that this is even possible at all. Before we get to the walking part, I'll explain a simple version of how your brain works. Inside your head, your brain has billions of tiny workers called neurons. If you know someone who doesn't have any, make sure to send this to them and subscribe. Neurons are like little workers that send electrical signals to each other. When you decide to walk, the part of your brain called the motor cortex, which is like the movement control room, sends these electric signals down the spinal cord to your leg muscles. The muscles get the signal and go, okay, let's move.
We think it's actually possible to create a neural shunt between, so if you've got like a Neuralink in your skull connected to your brain, your motor cortex, you put another Neuralink in your spinal cord past where the nerves are broken, and then it's just like a wireless bridge because the neurons are kind of like wires, and if you've got a bunch of broken wires, you can have a wireless bridge from your brain to where the neurons are still alive. You could have full body reanimation.
While all this is amazing, it's not all that easy. At first, the person will need to practice a lot, like learning to ride a bike. They think about walking, and then the chips work together, and slowly the legs start moving. Over time, it could feel more natural, like how you walk without even thinking about it. They'll have to train their muscles to grow stronger and stronger, and that strength will also help them with balancing. Neuralink is testing and still experimenting. Walking is a giant goal. So here's what they've done so far to make progress on these devices. A few years ago, Neuralink put chips in monkeys' brains, and the monkeys learned to play a video game called Pong just by thinking about it. The chip heard their brain signals and moved the game paddle on the screen. It was like mind control for video games. Then, in January 2024, Nolan Arbaugh became the first to participate in their human trials and get a Neuralink implant. He's paralyzed from the shoulders down because of an accident at a lake. After the device was put in, he could move a computer cursor and play chess just by thinking about it. He said it felt like using the Force from Star Wars. That's not walking, but it shows the chip can hear brain signals and do something useful with them. And in another test, Elon Musk and the Neuralink team showcased the neural shunt concept in a pig. The pig had 2 Neuralinks implanted, and when the team wanted, they could make the pig's leg flex or straighten.
Okay, so let's stimulate on an electrode. So here's one electrode on one thread that when we stimulate causes a flexion movement of the leg. So on the left, you can see the movement of the joints, and you can also see the time series of the stimulation pattern in yellow.
They're still figuring out how to make true walking work in people. Other scientists, not with Neuralink, have helped paralyzed people walk a little using different tech, like a digital bridge between the brain and spine. In 2023, a man in Switzerland walked with crutches after getting brain and spine implants that work together. Neuralink wants to do something similar, but make it smoother and easier. This isn't easy peasy. There are some big challenges Neuralink has to solve. Walking isn't just one signal, it's a bunch of tiny signals working together to move your legs, keep balance, and not fall over. The chips have to figure out all those signals and send them perfectly, or it might feel robotic or wobbly. Putting this stuff in your brain is risky. It's surgery, so it has to be super safe. Neuralink uses a robot to be extra careful, but they still need to make sure it doesn't hurt the brain or cause infections. The chip runs on a battery, like your toys or phone. It charges wirelessly, but they have to make sure it doesn't run out of juice when someone's walking. There's also a learning curve. Even with the chips, the person has to train their brain and body to work together again. It's like learning a new game. You don't get it right the first time. Building this tech takes a long time and lots of money. They're still testing, and it might be years before it's ready for everyone who needs it. But what could it be like? Let's imagine a day when this works. Say there's a kid who can't walk because of a car accident. He gets the Neuralink chips, one in his brain, one in his spinal cord, and at first he gets practice in a hospital with doctors helping him. He thinks, step forward, and the chips send the message. His leg twitches a little, and yay, it's working. After weeks of practice, he takes a few steps with a walker. Months later, he's walking across the room, maybe with crutches, smiling because he's moving again. Like we heard, Elon Musk said it could even be full body mobility, meaning this person could run, jump, or climb stairs someday. That's the dream, a big, exciting dream. And there are more ripple effects of this as well. Right now, if someone has a severe spinal cord injury, they usually think they have no chance of ever walking again. But Neuralink simply gives people hope for the future, and sometimes that's all you need. Helping paralyzed people walk is just one part of Neuralink's plan. They also want to help blind people see. By sending signals to the brain's vision part, they might make a picture in someone's mind, even if their eyes don't work. They want people to talk without speaking. If someone can't talk, the chip could turn their thoughts into words on a screen. And this is already happening with the third participant. They want to fix other problems, maybe help with things like depression or memory loss by tweaking brain signals. It's like giving superpowers to people who need them. Not everyone's sure this will work. Some scientists say walking with brain chips is really hard and might take a long time, maybe decades or even never. Others worry it could be risky or not help everyone. But lots of people, especially those who are paralyzed, are excited to see what happens. Nolan, the first person with the chip, said it's already changed his life by letting him use a computer with his mind. He hopes it'll help with walking someday too. Neuralink is truly like a team of brain superheroes, trying to fix the broken highway between the brain and the body. Imagine a world where someone who couldn't move gets up and walks to the park because of Neuralink. Please subscribe on YouTube and follow on X, and check out this video to learn more about Elon's world.